Good morning to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers of the Kish Foundation Spaceship Institute. We are back here again, as usual, have been done for 534 other sessions to see what we know, what we get to know, and how much we know, and what we need to know more to be able to become man of space. In the intro, we heard about the creation of the central forces which holds the body of the man together. And in a way, then it becomes a creator where itself was created out of interaction of the fields. We call it the soul of the man. In the structure of the what we call the central energy, now we know some calculations done by some scientists to tell us that at the point of separation of the physicality and the soul of the man, something like 18 to 20 Hiroshima bomb energy will be released, which in that, what we call propulsion of the separation between the energy of the central body of the man, we call the soul, and the physicality, this soul, this time, is not get propelled by field forces of the propulsion or jet fuel, but it gets propelled into the space according to the strength of a field which has created inside, which holds within. But there comes the position to clarify more, where does it end? Where does this pack of energy, which is not burning fuel anymore, but using the universal magnetic fields through the what we call the carbon-14 and what you call the other magnetic field elements, ends up to what shape it'll take? Do all end up in the same place, or do some end up in a specific position, and would some reach the point that they pass the unicos and become part of the structure of the soul of the creator, which self is created by? In understanding the law of the physics in respect to interaction of the fields of the plasma, according to the strength field of the body of the man, at the point of the release of the central energy, which in a way gets expelled into the space, and according to the field strength of the environment, be it the solar system, be it the earth, be it the galaxy, the universe, or the unicos, that energy will take its own dimension and position. Some will become that dust which rains back on earth, because through gravitational fields and dimension, they in fact get absorbed, attracted, and rain back on earth. They become another dust. This is what we call in the world of religion the hell, the end which become part of nothing. Some become what we call the dusts in the solar system. Then, as a point of reference, they become the seed of what we call possible meteorite and asteroids, and maybe the center of the future planetary system in the solar system. Some, due to the strength and the speed and strength of the fields which created that soul, become part of the galaxy. They become the seed for another soul of another structure like Earth, or they become dust of galaxies. All the meteorites and lights we see a material burning and the upper layers of the atmosphere of Earth do not come from the solar system itself. There are cosmostroids, which what we call cosmic rays, cosmic dust, which have penetrated through the solar system all the way and reach on their way to go to the sun, passing the Earth, they release their energy. In a coming time, the scientists, in understanding this, will bring that separation to us. They tell us which of these meteorites, which of these lights we see in the sky burning out is in essence from the solar system, and which one has entered the solar system through what we call our galaxy. And in some rare cases, if you are more on the outer boundary of a galaxy, what you receive from the universe enters into the galaxy, then it crosses the galaxy into the solar systems, and then the solar system can interact with a field of planetary system like Earth and create that meteorite. So what we see above us is not all what is of our solar system. Some is from galaxies and some from universe. There are materials of this in the hand of man. In some of the materials we have collected, we have cosmic objects, but we do not understand it. So that cosmic object could have been created by a soul of the man who left this planetary system millions of years ago. And in having the matching strength, has been attracted and then pulled in to the galaxy and then to the Earth, to the mother point. But when you listen to what we call cosmologists, they tell us that the solar system has hundreds of billions of stars. Planet Earth creates some of those stars, the seed of those stars. Maybe then the seed of some planetary system in them. Maybe some dust in these galaxies and in the solar systems has their origin as in the soul of the man. Then you understand how us as human beings, as we said many times before, we are the seeds of the creation. This is a greenhouse. And this greenhouse is needed to be able to replenish, recollect, divert, divide the fields of the galaxy and the universe and unicos back in itself, regeneration of the fields. In that process, now we understand in a deeper way how, if we understand the creation of this process, we do not need to die to release the field strength of the soul of the man, or the soul of the man to travel to another point dimension to create another life and physicality in that place, time, and position. Then, if we understand this, how to control which strength, and according to our intelligence, to what strength, to what to match to, we will be able to transmute anywhere in the universe by the wish of the man, by the will of the man. In the world of physicality, when you sit in a car, you have a steering wheel. You turn it left, you turn it right, it turns right or left, decides where you want to go. In the dimension of the soul of the man, in transmutation, we have to learn how to play with the strength of fields of the soul of physicality of the brain of the man. What we call last time as electron. You call it the third eye, and somebody else call it the sixth chakra, and all the names we have created as we never understood for the interaction of the two halves of our brain with each other. Some of us can allow this to be outside, we can create a position to see further than his goal. Some of us, we cannot bring this third eye out to control the strength of it. And when we put you on these headphones, you will go nowhere. Because the strength of the physical structure of the brain of the man, the two halves, holds this dimension within the center. If man learns how to control this through the emotion of the man, and then how to produce it through the skull of the man, or even the brain structure of the man, then we become visionaries. Because now this material feels strength, not being in a matter state, but being in a plasma state, interacts with the other fields. It's literally like when you fall asleep and you dream. How to control the position and the strength of this, what we call atom structure of the soul of the man, and the field strength of the soul of the physicality of the brain, then you can travel, you can do everything you need, you can feed the physicality of the man through the same process. Understanding this, when it comes to the point of transmutation, you want to go to the moon, you strengthen the field of what you call the electron of this atom to the gravitational field forces of the, what we call the moon. Then at the same time as you add it up, and automatically is done, adjusted to a given specific field strength of the emotion on a specific point on the moon, you will land on that space and the spot. That's your steering wheel. That's the way through the interaction of the emotion. Desire to travel, which creates another dimension of emotion. You dictate your own transmutation. And when this cannot be reached, this is what I always say. We have your knowledge seekers using the headphones, and some of us always said in another teaching, we give the whole system to a knowledge seeker, give him the whole night and the next day, and he can't go anywhere. It's because the emotion feel the strength of that atom, which the controlling part of it is the electron, which is the interaction between the two parts of the soul of physicality of the brain of the man, cannot expand beyond. So there is no interaction with this environment to decide where to go, to decide what you want. And some of your knowledge seekers, because you're so emotional, you understand the emotion of the physicality, not the emotion that we see. We talk to the lady, and the minute you say something, she's emotional. Get the handkerchief out. Not that emotion. We're talking about emotion of the control of the fields of the body of the man in the dimension of the soul. Then you understand how to control. If you understood this, you can reverse this in the same process, that as the soul of the man interacts with this electron to bring it within the inner physical structure of the physicality of the brain of the man, you dictate what energies you absorb from the environment, from the universe, that being close on top of the neural system, on top of the spinal cord, feeds through the neural system energy control that it feeds the body of. If you look at the structure of the neural system of the body of the man, and the blood flow structure of the body of the man, which brings that oxygen to the structure of the body of the man, the dimension of physicality, you will see they match. Now you understand that the structure of your neurosystem, which is the dimension of the interaction of the fields of the soul of the man, through the interaction of the dimension of the physicality of the man, which comes through the blood of the man, create the dimension of the physicality of the man, where the interaction of the soul and the interaction of the soul of physicality of the man with their environment and the dimension of the fields of the soul creates, leads to the creation of physicality of the man. So your neural system and your blood circulation system are part of the interaction, the reason you exist in this dimension. If you cut one, the other one can still convey the message through, to convert, to build. And if you understand this, now it makes clear that how I can regrow the amputated leg, the system, the structure behind the production of the whole structure of the leg of the man does not come by magic. It comes through the soul of the man, through the neural system, what you call the neural pulses. Part of the information going through the neural system of the man is to do with the physical information, and the other part is the soul information, energy of the universe, combination of the extraction of the fields, which leads to the feet of the man. At that point, your neural system becomes the provider of the energy for production of the cells, the bone, the nerves, and the tissues, and the rest. If neural system can feed the body to reproduce, to replace what's amputated, now you understand the same neural system, the same connection to the soul of the man, the same connection to the atomic structure of the soul and the soul of physicality of the brain of the man can feed the physicality of the man that the man does not need to kill. We put the food in the mouth of the man to create the weaker structure to pull the fields. But we bring that energy through the soul, through the neural system, that the interaction of what the physicality pulls with the energy of the soul of the man leads to creation of the physicality of the man in interaction with his environment. If you understand this, then you understand you only need to keep that structure within the soul, within the brain of the man, that you don't even need the brain of the man. So man can create controlling position, controlling system anywhere in the universe by understanding the structure of the release and interaction of the fields of the center point we call the neutron, and the what we call the electron, solar physicality of the physical structure of the man. If man understand this, then you understand how we even bring people out of coma and how we let the paralysis to heal. How we build, we reconstruct the structure of the neural system of a man. Now you understand that you need to understand the basic of the structure. And if you follow it, it comes back to the same circle, to the same structure. But you got to understand billions of souls are floating within the structure of this universe. And they give and they receive. And man can, in a way, become the receiver of those who are at strength field of the comprehension, understanding, maturity of the soul. In the future, man will understand. When this maturity reaches a point that the soul of the man can connect to as many as the fields of the universe, is when the man will be able, as was born from the womb of the mother to this earth, and from separation of this earth into what we call the cosmos, become at that point the passenger of unicos. And if that elevation of the understanding of the work of the universe is gifted to the soul, then it becomes part of the soul of the Creator. This maturity can be in the structure of the infant. It can be achieved within the womb of the mother, or not even at the age of 100 in a physical dimension. Has no position and time, but has a strength field of the creation. And you've touched that. If you achieve, if you become mature enough and feel the strength of understanding of the creation, you do not need no languages, and you do not need to serve, to give, to get, to receive, to elevate. But you are elevated in understanding the world of creation in the womb of the mother. Does not need a physical birth. Then you understand how the children of Mitra will, and most probably never need, to touch the dimension of the physical birth. And then we understand in a coming time, as this process understood more, how those who love to be, to create the children of the universe, will become part of that process. Now, if one day, as I always say, the man scientists understand the teaching of past half an hour, they have opened the secret to the world of creation. Be it in the physical dimension, be it in the dimension of the what we call physicality of the universe, in the unicos, or even the creator himself. We have to understand, in the long run, we have no choice but to mature to this knowledge, but to open our understanding to this knowledge. And we have no choice. In a way, we are intellected. We reach the point of understanding that becomes what we call the second nature of the man. In tomorrow's session, we push some of you to reach that point, or at least feel that, or try to understand the position of that point, where you will be able to control part of the emotional feeling of the what we call that third point, that electron. What you call the third eye, what you call the chakra, number, what and what. We push you through your own structure. We create the environment for it, and then it's for you to take that step, to cross that line, to not only cross it, but understand the emotion you need to create, the emotion you need to feel, the emotion you have to be able to control and manage to reach to what you want. Do you want to bring that electron as close as possible to the soul of the man that it feels the physicality, or you want to put it so out that it feels the field of the creator? Now, it all become your responsibility. We are at driving school, and we have brought you the car. It's you who has to learn which and to how much you can push the accelerator, where you have to apply the brake, how to steer your way in the mesh of the universal energy fields to get where you want. So, in a way, we have a school of the learners for the transmutation of the soul of the man, dimension of the energy of the man. And unfortunately, it's you who passes, turns the wrong turn, or he fails and it takes the wrong turn and he goes back to and he say, I felt nothing because you haven't managed to control the fields of emotion of them. Go back 10 years ago when we started this teaching, when we did the what we call the health and that section with Dr. Elia Kostova. There wasn't a single session of the teachings that it was not referred to the emotion. Now you understand, after 10 years, how important that emotion is. Is not only for your dimension of physicality, but it's the key for man to become the transmuters of the universe. Now you understand why for past 10 or 15 years we've been explaining again and again emotion, even between the two layers of the skin of the man, the structure of the physicality of the kidney of the man, and the rest of it. Emotion comes from the interaction between the dimension of the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man. It's a control system between the two. If you manage to pass the energy of the soul of the man beyond the strength of the soul of the physicality of the man, man will not need dimension of physicality. As long as these two stay separate, they create a field that field interacts with the environment of the man and leads to the creation of physicality of the man. Now, if you understand this, you use the soul of the man and the essence of the dimension of the field of universe. You use that emotion between the two half of the brain of the man as what we call the essence of the soul of physicality, and you become the passenger of the universe in one instance. And then you decide where to position it in respect to the emotion that leads to manifestation of the physicality at the time, place, and the point in the universe. The emotion is the outcome of the interaction between the soul of physicality and soul of the mass. Another word, if you are so materialistic, for emotion is the mass. And when this mass interacts with the dimension of the fields of the planetary system, gains weight, becomes weight. The other word for the weight is the physicality of the man, where the interaction of the emotion of the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man, which creates that mass, that emotion, in interaction with the field of the earth, leads to the physicality of the man. In the dimension of physicality, we call it the mass of object. In the dimension of this, what we call the field of the man, we call it the emotion. And the interaction of these with the environment gives us that weight. You weigh 60 kilogram on the earth and 6 kilogram on the sun, or 10 kilogram on the moon. So on earth, you look like this. On moon, the way changed, your physicality will change to create that physical emotion, interaction between the soul of the man, the soul of physicality of the man, and the emotion they create in respect to the environment they are. Then you understand the physicality of the man, how we look on the moon, and how we look on the sun. Now you understand more. what it means. And as I always say, man has chosen too many words for the same process because he never understood. He never understands. Until he doesn't understand this, man will suffer in this dimension of physicality. You got to understand how to use the point of physicality. One interesting point for you will come. We have a split brain on this planet. We create that third position. How do you create that emotion? That in interaction with the soul of the man will lead to the creation of the physicality when you have one system. The whole physical dimension of the emotion is one and not in two halves. That's your dilemma at this point. But if you think slightly deeper, you look at the structure of the planetary Earth, you'll find your answer. How do planetary system create the soul of physicality, which ends up in the dimension of the solar system to the shape, the color, the moon, the mountains, and the rest which they contain. There is no difference between the emotion of the man and the mass of the system and the structure of the physicality which they create in interaction with the fields of their environment. One makes the body of the man, one makes the planetary system structure, and one makes the earth. The sooner the man become knowledgeable to this point, the sooner man will become the passenger of the universe. I made man in the image of myself. So how is the image of the creator created when itself follows the same principle? Then you understand how the creator is within you, where its fields interact with the field strength of the environment of the physicality of man. Then you understand. I made man in the image of myself in interaction with the soul of its physicality and the soul of the man. The way you created your physical dimension in the interaction of the emotion with the what we call the field of this planet, the same way the structure of the physicality of the soul of the creator within the physicality of the man creates the essence of the birth of the soul of the creator within the man. The body of the man is the temple of creator. And one day man will understand. And that day is the promised day, when the man himself matures to understand the totality of the creation. There is no difference in any working of the systems of the universe. It's only man's lack of understanding which has divided, brought division, separation, and in so many ways misunderstanding by himself or himself. If the soul of the man, the soul of physicality of the man, within the dimension and direction of interaction leads to the creation of the kidney and the liver and the rest, and then in the interaction with the environment leads to the physical structure of the physicality of the man, then there is no doubt that the same fields in the environment of the body of the man with the interaction of the fields of the creator will embed within it the soul of the creator, which manifests itself in the dimension of physicality of the man. But still is that separation. And when we take the dimension of physicality of the man away at the point of death or the transmutation, where does that soul of the creator interact with that leads to the creation of the new life? with the interaction of the fields of that matter. I hope you understand the meaning of the teachings. And I hope you've been enlightened to understand man does not need to eat. Man does not need to create mayhem. Man does not need any structure, as every structure is different and it depends how you want to manifest yourself. And then you understand the true meaning of I made man in the image of myself, as the interaction of me within the structure of the emotion of the man leads to the creation of me. Then man will become mature to become part of the universal community, which this universe itself is created by the essence of the emotion of the creator. Man only creates the dimension of the fields for it to manifest itself. And he gives its own dimension. And this is the riddle that the books of the man always been looking for. And maybe today you have found the answer. And if not, you're still in the old rooms of the weight and the mess. And you're in a big mess. Now you understand. The totality of knowledge. I made man in the image of myself. As I'm creator of that image. In the dimension of the emotion of the man, which is created in the dimension of the physicality and the soul, the strength of the field of the man, which man controls through the strength of his own structure and the field of the emotion of his own brain. For you as knowledge seekers, finding that point and how to use it to feed the physicality and at the same time move it out to become part of the universal community for you to transmute will become the next step of the evolution of science and technology, of the understanding of the world of creation. And the burden of teaching is on you for yourself, not others to teach you. And if you haven't understood the essence of the teaching of today, carry on with your own physical dimension of life. As we gave you the key to the universal existence. As you understand where I go, He is within me as I am within Him. And the existence of me allows manifestation of the love of Him. I hope, as knowledge seekers, you understand the light of the knowledge and the enlightenment. Otherwise, you still be reading the books, which is full of fallacy and trying to keep you away from understanding the truth about yourself.